My name is Cassidy Nelson. I'm 16 years old, and I'm a senior at Heritage High School in Brentwood, California. A topic I'm very passionate about is multiple sclerosis, also known as MS. MS is an inflammatory disease characterized by the breakdown of the myelin sheath surrounding the axon of nerve cells. This causes a decrease in the efficiency of the nerve cells, which can cause fatigue, weakness or numbness, a loss of vision, and a loss of mobility or paralysis, depending on the area affected. The cause of MS is unknown. However, there are three known factors that are involved in the development of MS. These are genetics, gender, and geography. Genetics. If you're related to someone who has MS, you have a higher risk of getting MS. Gender. If you're a woman, you're more susceptible to getting MS. And geography. The further you live from the equator, the more likely you are to get MS. There are 4 types of disease progression when it comes to MS. These are relapsing remitting MS, secondary progressive MS, primary progressive MS, and progressive relapsing MS. Relapsing remitting MS is characterized by exacerbations of symptoms, followed by partial or complete recovery from the symptoms. Secondary progressive MS directly follows relapsing remitting MS, and is characterized by a more steady progression of the disease, with the possibility for some relapses and remissions. Primary progressive MS is characterized by a more steady progression of the disease, without any distinct relapses or remissions. However, there can be some minor plateauing or recovery from the disease. Finally, progressive relapsing MS is characterized by a more steady progression of the disease from the beginning, similar to primary progressive. However, there can be distinct relapses and remissions. MS affects more than 2.3 million people worldwide. MS is 2 to 3 times more common in women than men. The average person has a 0.1% chance of getting MS. However, if you have a sibling or parent who has MS, that risk goes up to 2.5 to 5%. And if you have an identical twin who has MS, that risk goes up to 25%. There are studies going on to find a cure for MS. One of these potential cures is the antibody anti-LINGO-1, which is currently being used to treat cases of acute optic neuritis. Acute optic neuritis is the inflammation of the optic nerve, which causes pain and a loss of vision. This is commonly related to MS and can be an early sign of MS. Treatment with the antibody anti-LINGO-1 allowed 52% of those with acute optic neuritis who were studied to have their visually evoked potentials return to normal ranges. This topic is really important to me because my mom is actually diagnosed with secondary progressive MS, and I want to be able to research MS and other diseases so that other daughters can have all the time in the world with their mothers.